Welcome to Section 420, Talkin Yankees, the podcast. Well, the Yankees get a little bit bad news, suffer their first injury blow of the regular season. That's the Jazz Chisholm Jr. to an oblique injury that's going to sideline him to 4 to 6 weeks. So a little bad news there for the Yankees, which we'll look into, but also a little good news. A couple of players getting awarded for their really good performances in April and strong start to the season. So some positives there as well. So before we get started, make sure you subscribe to this podcast if you're listening for the first time. Section 420, Talkin Yankees, the podcast, and there's also the visual version of the show. So afterwards, go over to YouTube, type in Section 420 Talkin Yankees, and make sure you subscribe there as well. So this is the result of the Baltimore game. Of course, we all know Jazz took himself out of the game. Looks like he injured his oblique. Now, to him, he thought it was nothing big. He said, actually, you guys are more worried than I am. He probably figured he'd be back the next day, and that's kind of where his head was at. But after examining, they saw that he needs to be shut down for a few weeks. So, this I would say was kind of the first really IL injury blow for the Yankees. Really the big one, you would say. Obviously, we're looking at spring training and pitchers catch. We know what happened with Cole. We know what happened to Luis Heel. But obviously, going into the regular season, once the season started, this is kind of the first big blow there for the Yankees. And Jazz was pretty durable, when they had him last season, just for the half of the year there, and so far up to this point, they're not the type of guy that seems to get hurt all the time like a Stanton. So again, it's a little surprising there, but unfortunately, he's going to be shut down for a little bit. The good and the bad of that, obviously, and I kind of been stressing that, his low batting average. I know he pops home runs, so he gives you that part of his game there, and he has energy, he has a strong arm, he can steal bases. Yes, he has a lot of good things there, but also, again, you just look at some of the baseball fundamentals, he's batting under 200 there, so just by, addition by subtraction, if you put someone there that's hit a little bit better, maybe overall it could be a little bit of a silver lining. Yeah, I don't think you're going to have someone in there that's going to be better than Jazz, but there could be some benefits just taking a look at someone else there just for, possibilities, and of course the person is going to get that opportunity is Yorbat Vivas, who's called up, made his major league debut, and again, that was the opening game against Tampa there. So, let's just see what he can bring to the table. And this is someone who, he was kind of in the running there to make the club or even compete for a job in second base in spring training. And kind of the mindset was, going with Jazz pretty much the whole way. But, he was kind of up there, and he was, again, making a case for himself to make the major league club coming out of spring training there. So now he's going to get this opportunity, and whether it's 4 to 6 weeks, again, he's going to chunk of time, probably a month or so, to see what he got up there, and maybe he could shine. And again, maybe overall there could be some silver lining in this. Again, not that I don't like Jazz and I want Jazz to come back, but if you have someone there just could actually just hit better batting average wise overall for the team, that might be the better thing. And again, play solid defense. You don't have to be Roberto Alomar, but just don't kick the ball around like Gleyber Torres has been doing the past couple of seasons there. And again, the Yankees should be okay, but obviously losing Jazz there, just again, he brings other tangibles to the game that you are going to miss there. But I don't think it's something that should really slow down this Yankee. Overall, you say this, kind of rolling along a little bit. I know there's some disappointing games here and there, but overall, offensively, collectively, rolling along there. So, I don't think losing Jazz will hurt him too much there. Again, you're going to lose some pop and power. I don't think Vivas has that part of his game that Jazz could provide there. But he could do some other things, in terms of the batting average, making contact, moving runners over, other stuff that, Jazz doesn't do because he swings and misses a lot. That could, also help the Yankees in other ways there. So we'll see how that all goes. And as mentioned before at the top there, a couple of Yankee players awarded for their performances in April. Really, none of these are shockers, just the way the great start they've gotten off to. Of course, we'll just mention the easy one. That's, of course, Aaron Judge, leading the majors with a batting average of .427. Usually that's like within the first couple of weeks, and then kind of goes back down to reality. We're like in May now, and this guy's still hitting over 400, which is incredible there. Tied right now with 10 home runs and leads all major league hitters with 50 hits and a 1.282 OPS on base plus slugging there. So just dominating the game right now. And you would figure, all right, he'll come back to earth. Maybe he'll hit like 350 and 320, and maybe he will at some point. But again, hitting not just only 400, but 427. It's like kind of significantly over 400 there. So just absolutely raking the ball. Again, he's really on top of his game right now. Definitely the best player in the game there. I mean, there's always going to be the back and forth with him and Ohtani, and maybe at some point Ohtani will take that mantle maybe 2 years from now. Who knows? But right now, clearly, Aaron Judge the best player in the game. And just, not only hitting, staying healthy, and again, I don't want to jinx him, but just look what happened to Mike Trout, who, finally at age 33 got off to a somewhat of a decent start. And unfortunately, what's happened to him over the years, again, he was supposed to be what Judge is now, but every year he's hurt. And unfortunately, looks like the other day he hurt his knee there, and he might have to go to IL for a while as well. And just, again, an unfortunate career with Mike Trout, but let's just, stamp that out and just go with the good news is with Aaron Judge. Again, right now, the man in baseball. And on the pitching side, another no-brainer, another Yankee, and that's Max Fried, who just threw another gem, and that's, the opening game against Tampa. Almost had a no-hitter against Tampa just a week before that as well, and just rolling along there. Right now tied in the majors with a 5-0 record and tied with a 1.19 ERA. But collectively, the guy himself having a 5-0 record and a 1.19 ERA, just him having those both himself, places him easily as the AL pitcher of the month of April, and we can judge the player in the AL of April. And the Yankees so far 7-0. All the starts Max Fried pitched in there, so clearly the Yankee ace dominating, pitching well. Again, this is everything, but probably more than we expected. Again, with him, it was like, well, yeah, he's very good, but he gets hurt a lot. There's some red flags on him. You got to watch out. So far, he's just been money, not only pitching effectively, but pretty much going deep, at least deep into a lot of these games. Not like a Carrasco or Will Warren or Clark Schmidt just going like 4 2/3 inning or barely 5 innings, or even sometimes with Rodon a little bit, just maybe barely goes 6. I mean, again, he's been going there pretty deep into these games there. So, that's what an ace does. That's what, and Garrett Cole, when he was here and rolling well, doing well, that's something an ace does, goes deep into the games and makes it easier on your bullpen, gives your bullpen a day off there. And then, of course, Yankees in the opening game only needed 3 runs, and that was a 3-run home run by Paul Goldschmidt, and when you have your ace dealing there, that's all you need. All you need is 3 runs, and then the ace shuts the other team down, and there you go. That's how you get some easy wins there. There's such a good signing by Cashman. A lot of it you could say, well, is this a result of, they had the money because they just ended up spending on Soto, so they figured we'd spend it in other areas. Well, whatever the case may be, whether they're going to bring this guy in or not, whether they sign Soto, this has turned out to be a really good move for the Yankees, just because the fact, not only is he pitching well, but of course, with Cole going down, he kind of softens that blow up. You can't replace Cole, and you can't have him pitch, make up for Cole himself there, but at least softens the blow of not having Cole for 2025. And Rendon has been better as of late, overall lately. Rendon doesn't have to match what Max Fried does, but at least more consistently just pitching like that, where those two come out and you almost can only pencil in the win. That's what you kind of need at the top, because, again, still you have a lot of question marks with the other 3 in the Yankee slot. And I kind of went over this in the last YouTube episode. If I want to go back to that, just like, yeah, it's great that, those 2 are pitching, but still the rest of the starting rotation. We'll see, how long the Yankees roll with that. But, again, you could at least pep your way through that as long as Max Fried and Rendon at the top there are stabilized. Right now, it looks like those 2 of the lefties right now are in a good place, so hopefully they keep rolling along. So that's the episode. Jazz is going to be out for a while, so I guess I don't know if he'll still be biting people on the bench or not, but unfortunately he's going to be out of the Yankee lineup. But I think Yorbe Vivas, obviously he made a little bit of noise in spring. He almost could have made the team maybe. He was kind of in the running there. So let's see. He's going to get an opportunity right now, and hopefully he has a chance to flourish. Catch you next time.